after the first round of flights I had with this Extra 300, I realized that I really had to work on my flying abilities, and this was maybe just a good option for me to take the next step, to evolve and to do more things in the air. And as you can see, I've actually replaced the stock prop, so this is a plastic 12x6 prop, which does give me a little bit more clearance when taking off from taller grass. So let's just go outside and fly this then on a taller grass field.
Sometimes it's just a little bit difficult to get off the grass when you have longer grass, because the prop will hit the ground. So with this 12 prop then, I have a little bit more clearance compared to the 13 stock prop. And I haven't noticed anything real in the flight performance. The way I fly this one, I don't push it too much. I like to fly slow to work on my slower aerobatic capabilities. And the Extra 300 is I would say it's a fantastic RC airplane. The more you fly it, the more you learn to handle it. I think it's just a great flying RC airplane. There are things that you might run into. For instance, it's being so agile, so you have to tone down the rates and everything. And I mean, you can go quite slow, but I wouldn't really push it without throttle too much. So you need some air flowing around the wing. And I mean, it was really interesting rolls also.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
And a really great snap roll. Just fumbles around. Inverted flying, it's no surprise, it's just rock solid. I would say that this plane doesn't care in which direction you fly it in, just as long as you have some speed and you have control of orientation. It just handles great, and I think it's also quite a beautiful RC airplane. These colors and the checkerboard on the side of the wing. I'm not really pushing this RC airplane to its limits. This is just another of my practice flights with this Extra 300. And it is actually the largest RC airplane I have if you just compare the overall shape of the RC airplane.
Time remaining 2
And still it's really easy to move around in the sky. Knife edge works just as it should with an aerobatic RC airplane, of course. I'm not the greatest knife edge pilot. I just try to do some sort of practice rounds with this RC airplane and some of my others as well.
Time remaining 1 minute.
And if you have an RC airplane, like for instance the Arrow's Bigfoot or the E-Flite Clipwing Cub or even the Timber X or Night Timber X, and you're used to fly these RC airplanes and just push them around, and I think this Extra 300, if you haven't tried one before, could be a really valid choice just to push you out of your comfort zone and do more things. I mean, I'm doing this really gentle and it's not difficult. It's just that I have to think a little bit more. And then when I'm flying my other RC airplanes where everything is more or less just automatically in my spine. So this takes a little bit more work for my brain just to fly this RC airplane. I'm also just trying to do lots of inverted flying these days. Not on all flights, but I think it's a great practice. Just to improve your orientation skills. I mean, inverted flying is not difficult, but you just have to rethink how you control the RC airplane a little bit. This is fun. Inverted loop, then go into a tumble on the top. So, I mean, there are just so many aerobatic moves one can do, and I'm not doing, I'm just scratching the surface. I think that's a good thing because I always want to improve. So, I mean, I'm glad there's still things to learn. And honestly, I fly most of my other RC airplanes more or less the same way. So with the Extra 300, I do a little bit of another kind of flying. Today I have no wind, so it's a perfect flying condition. I would have liked a bit more clouds just for filming. Orientation works, but it looks much better when you have clouds when you film. So it's time to land this Extra 300. Sometimes the grass just grabs the RC airplane, so let's see how this works. If I can get it down in a smooth way. Oh, kind of interesting landing.
I think it's really interesting because as you grow your abilities to fly an RC airplane, I think some of the RC airplanes that you really do not enjoy at first becomes so much more enjoyable after a while, and this is one of those RC airplanes. I can also mention like the Night Timber X, which at first was kind of intimidating, but after that I just had a great fun with that RC airplane, and it's the same with this one. I think at first it was really difficult. I wasn't really sure how to handle it, but then when I realized that you're just supposed to go really slow and gentle and do like slower aerobatics, I started to enjoy this one very much, and I hopefully I will someday just master this one, because I think it's in all, I think it's just a fantastic flying RC airplane. The only negative maybe might be then the landing gears, because I mean there's a metal pin, but these do actually splay out quite much when you do like rougher landings. So I mean the landings are not really difficult, but I mean it's really interesting just to get this one down. And as you saw in this flight, the plane did actually just ended up like a tower like this. So that is also something that happens. But I mean, so far, I mean, it has kind of a damaged tips on the stock prop, so that's why I did this one. And hopefully this the added bit of clearance, and that this is a plastic prop, hopefully would just continue to work fine on this Extra 300.